It's 3 in the morning and I'm still awake, so I picked up a pen and a page. And I started writing just what I'd say if we were face to face. I'd tell you just what you mean to me, tell you these simple truths. Be strong in yourself and never give up hope. You're gonna teach great things. I already know you've got your PPE, so don't you teach in fear. Forgive and forget, but don't forget why you're here. Take your time each day. These are the words I would say from one teaching life to another. I would say, be strong in yourself and never give up hope. You're gonna teach great things. I already know you've got your PPE, so don't you teach in fear. Forgive and forget, but don't forget why you're here. Take your time each day. These are the words I would say.
Hello, fellow educators. This is Diamond Emerald Skinner bringing you another gem. God, good vibes, education, and motivation. I want to talk to you about specially designed instruction, continuing on with this idea, this theme of engaging all learners. As you know, I'm a special educator, and that's something that's crucially important to me. In addition, I also teach other teachers and special educators at Hunter College and with the DOE, so it's definitely at the top of my mind. The first thing to keep in mind, right, is what specially designed instruction is. Specially designed instruction is different than differentiation or accommodations or modifications in that it's the ability to teach the child how to use a strategy or technology or a method to overcome their disability and remove the barriers to help them access the general education curriculum. It's not just giving them a sentence starter, it's teaching them how to appropriately select and use a sentence starter to access the general education curriculum. Let me continue. The first thing we're looking at when we're looking to write our phenomenal lessons is the standard, right? So scrolling along the standard, I'm just going to leave it there the whole time. Also to reference the fact that we need to be referencing it often in our lessons. We're coming back to it. A lesson is a blank check. And the standards that you include are the ones that we're looking at when I'm observing you to cache it, right? If you say this is happening in a lesson, that's what I'm looking for. Side note, we often include too many standards in our lessons. So I'm just going to include this one as I talk about something I did this week. So that standard is about integrating technology and using technology to produce and publish writing. So with that, we have our SWABAT. You students will be able to use technology to write a paragraph that answers an argumentative question. Very basic. I could have included exactly what the question is. I could have included the criteria, exactly how many pieces of evidence I need to include. What is the criteria for this paragraph that we're writing today? What's the strategy we're using? I could have included that in the objective, but I didn't. But I have a strong verb to actually going to use technology. That's actually from the standard, so I included it. And they're going to write a paragraph. Moving on, because I could talk about this for days. 2, the strategies that they're using to write. They're using the strategy race, restate, answer, cite, explain to write. So I have to teach that strategy. That's a part of SDI. But moreover, the thing I'm excited about is the task analysis strategy that I'm using to teach them how to use YouTube. So in the lesson that I taught last week, I taught my students how to use the subtitles and closed captions on YouTube in order to use that as text evidence in their paragraph to produce a piece of coherent writing. That was the idea and the gist. What I mean by task analysis is the idea of basically backwards design, right? Breaking down the components of a task one by one and giving those details back to the student in order to teach them the process. I had to analyze how am I able to digest the components of this YouTube video and produce writing. So first, if I want them to do that task, I have to have that clearly laid out. What is it that I want them to do? That's my objective. That's also the culminating project. I have to write out what I want them to do. Furthermore, I'm going to produce an example, so I know exactly what's needed in order for me to produce what I want my children to produce. Once I'm able to do that, then I can go backwards, task analyze it, and go through what's step 1, 2, 3, 4, because I analyze and realize some things, that there are subtitles in the video. I'm a quick reader. I have degrees in this. I can read it quickly. My students cannot. They need an adaptation. They need specifically designed instruction to help them access this material that I know they can access. But at the end of the day, every child, whether they're reading proficiently or whether they're struggling readers, they need intervention, will be able to complete this because of my level of intervention at different points, right? Maybe some people need it all written down already. Everyone is getting it tossed through to them because it's better if they can engage in the conversation. But overall, that's one quick, brief example. I want to refer you to the playlist Tech Savvy Teacher and the other video PD I produced last week about engaging all learners and the new type of note-taking that we would take. Remember that we're fearing not and we're shining bright. I talked about the S, showing up for your students and different ways that you have to show up and follow up for them. Today, when I'm talking about teaching, I'm really talking about extremely executing, the E and the bright, actually. You need to extremely execute. And the way to extremely execute is not just teach skills that they're going to need for that day, but this lesson they're going to use in every single class eventually and for the rest of their lives, independently of me. They may be watching something and just remember, actually, I can use closed captioning to understand this a little bit better. We need to teach skills that are going to last eons and generations. I hope this gave you some inspiration for the week. I hope this gave you some motivation to get back in the trenches and make another successful week, because yes, you can. Yes, you will. And yes, you must. Because if it isn't us, who will? Fear not. Shine bright. Have a wonderful